Gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Whoa, 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 whoa! Howdy, pals. It is us at Khorage magazine, and we are here today with our lovely people. Everybody introduce themselves.
I'm Alexis. Duh. Khrystal.
Bianca.
My name's Chandler, and I'm Karis. Yep. And we're here to talk about positives about sex.
Have you had sex, and how old were you when you first had sex?
Caleb.
Everybody doesn't have to. No, this is fine. So I will word it like this. I was 23 the first time I chose to have sex. That growing up, because I know the question's like, why'd you wait? I intentionally was like, one, I'm a child out of wedlock. I'm a child of a teen mom. So I was just like, growing up, it was kind of like there's certain things that I like wish that I didn't have to go through, that I wish I could experience. But it's like, well, I had a young mom, and my mom was growing up while I was growing up. So it's like, I'm just not gonna have sex until I'm married. And then it was just like, nope, because I don't want a baby, because I equated like you meet someone, you have sex, you have a baby at 16. Right. Like really, and I was just like, I'm not gonna be that statistic. And so, yeah, I waited until I was 33.
Somewhere around like 16, 17, 18, you're like, if you haven't already done it, you know what? Let's take over the world. Let's do it. And then one or two things happen. You do it and you probably regret it, because that's a terrible way to go into like having sex. Or you get into the situation and you're like, whoa. So actually, let's backpedal. I am not as ready as I thought I was gonna be. That totally happened to me. That happened to me.
A lot of times I feel like we as a culture, as parents, like are always telling girls, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But they're not really answering why.
Yeah.
If you're going to be religious about it and preach like, God says to wait for this one man, that doesn't always happen that way. And I think we should really start preaching or advocating for knowing yourself and knowing when you are ready and knowing what you're getting into.
Or creating both avenues for that child and keeping an open forum, because sometimes I wish I would have had that. I completely understand where you're coming from, because you go from those you see your friends and you're doing all this stuff. I remember just sitting back and just kind of be like, no, I'm cool. Like I'm looking at my friends crying like, no, all right,
For
no,
real.
I'm all right. I'm cool on that. No, you did what? What hurts? No, I'm all right. I'm all right.
And that's
I'm all
why
right. You know what I mean?
I thought it was funny when you were saying around the age like 16, 17 is when you're like, you want to start exploring it. And I did like lose my virginity in high school. I was 16. I don't like regret the person, because I know it's still one of those things that like I could call right now and be like, hey, I need something. Like we're not together anymore, but I do wish I would have waited a little longer. And that's like,
Why?
just because I didn't know that much, and really mine wasn't. I actually didn't have that. Ooh, I want to. Like it was peer pressure, because I was still learning my body. Like my breasts were like just starting to develop and all that, and so like learn your body a little bit more. Like really learn your cycle and other things like your puberty before you hop into it, because I feel like now sex is kind of just like, it's not kind of like as sacred as it was once before. So
like
everyone's
brushing
just
your
doing
teeth.
it.
That's a good point. Like I wish that girls knew to like explore their bodies
I was just about
themselves
to say
more,
that.
because so I did not have sex until I was married. There are just things that I'm starting to learn, and that I realized like, I wish like somebody had just told me to explore me first.
Yeah.
Like, and not shame women, not shame girls for exploring their sexuality, even if it's just with yourself or even if it was with somebody, but just like giving them the proper tools to do that. Because I literally did not know anything, and I couldn't jig with it because I didn't know my body. They really don't like teach, about sex. Like growing up, our parents say we had sex ed, but it's like when we were in school, I know we all went to different schools, different parts of the area, but it's like the only thing I remember in health class was like learning about STDs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when they split the class up and they, you know, the girls go here and the guys go here. The girls go here because we learn about periods. But that's it. It's like, oh, you're gonna have a period, tampon or pad. Oh, you know, you're gonna break out. That's really all it is. They don't really teach us, you know, about our
Right.
about our
vagina.
They don't teach us about our breasts. They don't teach us
They don't
about
teach us about
hormones.
our pH balance.
They don't teach us about
what
pH
happens
balance.
when a penis is in a vagina.
Yes.
And the different chemicals that
They
are
don't.
like, they don't teach you that kind of stuff. They just like, hey, okay, well, here's a world full of bodies.
And
I feel like that's why we do need to create more avenues for young girls, especially me, because I was the only girl. I mean, I had my mom, but you know, there's still certain things that parents are kind of uncomfortable talking with their kids about.
How does God fit into teaching girls about sexuality?
Because I feel like people try to ignore the spiritual connection that happens between a man and a woman when you are intimate. I don't care if you don't like the person, I don't care if you're drunk, I don't care if anything. It's just something that happens that when you guys mix those chemicals, when you guys are doing whatever, it just, emotions start. Yeah, it's a tie. It's a tie.
the older generations who are saying, no, you're bad, you're going to hell.
Right.
And they're not addressing, it's like, okay, but this is what's happening, this is how, you know,
Exactly.
how I'm living my life. And it's like, you're going to shame me and not really help me grow. And when you bring God into it, the only answer is, well, God said you're not supposed to have premarital sex.
Well, why?
So where's that answer?
Right.
You know, like, so really, where is the answer? Where's the concrete answer for that question?
And I think Chandler really hit it on the head. Like, it's a very spiritual thing. And I think regardless of what you believe in, there is always going to be a spiritual aspect of it, like a transferring of like energy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a really big piece that's missing too. Like, as far as people in the church, like how they can spread the message, like, oh, here's sexual positivity. Like we can preach that. And also preach like, hey, it's a very spiritual thing. Because I think as women, as girls, because we're emotional beings, and we're taught to be emotional beings from the beginning. Not that guys aren't emotional beings, but that we are taught to actually tap into those emotions. It'll be easier for us to understand that and maybe make better decisions based off of that. If we understand those implications as far as like spiritually and how like those energies are and how it can throw you off on some days or put you on some days or whatever the case may be, it might be like a thing in our head that's like, hey, do I even want that? Like, am I even ready for that kind of thing? Like, do I want to be connected to a person in that kind of way? Like, those are questions that... Those are serious questions that I feel like a high schooler girls, if they knew to ask themselves that, they would ask themselves that and then make decisions based off of that. Like, yeah, actually, that's not a smart decision.
Yeah.
Actually, because there's no reason why at 25 we have to, you know, all of a sudden now we have this enlightenment.
Yeah,
like,
an epiphany.
no, like, yeah, and it's only, we only have that epiphany because we've lived, not because anybody necessarily told us.
Yep.
And that's the sucky part. Like, all y'all knew that this was a thing before,
And
they but all y'all just sit back here like, just don't have sex.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you why not to have sex.
But
Just don't do it.
Exactly.
And it's like, no, wait. My body feeling something, and I want something.
So
tell me why I should stay away from this. And then if I choose not to, tell me what happens if I choose not to.
Yeah.
So that at least I can weigh out all of my options
Yeah.
before I'm just making a silly decision.
And I think that's why when you put religion and sex together, I feel like it's empowering for some, you know? But it can be
It
kind
can be a
of...
suppressor for others.
Yes.
And I feel like it's
Yes.
a suppressor for a lot.
Yes.
For a lot. Especially girls who are, or people who are growing up in religious households. It's like they really don't have that avenue to advocate for themselves and to talk to anyone because they know that no matter what I say, no matter how I tell you how I'm feeling, and I'm comfortable in my feelings, you're just gonna shoot me down and not say, look, it doesn't matter, you're wrong.
They tell you not to have sex, you know, until you're married, because like this is a sacred thing. And then you have sex when you're married, and then all of a sudden you feel some type of way.
That's why I had sex when I was first 14. I had no clue what I was doing, who I was doing it. Well, I knew who I was doing it with. No one talked about that. Like, I was raised in the church, but no one ever talked about it. To this day, no one knew I had sex when I was 14. I saw the guy every day, lived up the street from me, never talked about it because I was embarrassed. That's something that I was like, don't do it, don't you do it. That's something that you keep inside, that's a gift. And I was like, I didn't know how to feel. Your friends aren't always gonna know the answers. They're gonna give you their opinion, but you can talk to a therapist and actually get that out. See someone, get help. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's really not.
I thank God, stand strong in who you are, for trying to figure out who you are at the age, because you really don't know who you are at 17.
Right.
But stand strong to your beliefs and stand strong to your decision.
I was in a rut where I had really low self-esteem. I was really depressed, and it kind of seemed like that part of me was vulnerable. I had a lot of ain't nothing guys around me, and it's like I feel like I was in a lot of positions and situations where I was taken advantage of just because I was in such a low and dark place. So just make sure you protect that part of yourself. Don't be afraid to say no, because that was something I struggled with for a while, is, you know, but it's you, like it's a sacred part of you, so don't be afraid to say no. Like there's nothing wrong with saying that.
To definitely explore sexuality first and foremost with yourself, because there's no way that you can be intimate with somebody else if you, in any sort of way.
Right.
There's no way to be intimate with anybody else in a physical way, in a mental way, if you don't even know you, in an emotional way, if you don't know you.
Don't be embarrassed that you're not sexually active. Don't let it affect your self-esteem. Because I was 23.
Tell it.
You know, it was kind of like I grown up. I kind of was like, one, guys don't like me. Like I was talking to guys, but it's always like, oh, you a virgin. It's like, yeah, right. Let me really see if you are. And so I never really had anything solid with any guys that I like. So that affected my self-esteem. I thought I wasn't like worth a guy's time. What else? Yeah, just don't let it affect your self-esteem. When you're ready, you will know you're ready, because it will just happen. Sexuality and sex are positive things. Your body, whether you're male, female, is a good thing. Love yourself. We all can collectively say, love yourself. Know yourself and love yourself. Thank you.